After joining Manchester United from Porto in 2007, Anderson became a regular in the midfield of Sir Alex Ferguson's side and contributed to 4 league titles and a Champions League win. But despite his achievements, he never lived up to his huge potential, and after leaving Old Trafford, his career never recovered. In this video, we're going to see how the 2008 Golden Boy winner went from playing at the heart of United's midfield at the age of 25 to the reserves of a Turkish Second Division club by the age of 31. My name is Joseph, you're watching Red Mist, and thank you for joining me as we explore what happened to Anderson's career. But before we get into it, if you enjoy content like this, please make sure to like the video and subscribe to Red Mist and turn notifications on so you don't miss out on future videos. Now let's get back to it. Anderson was born in Porto Alegre in Brazil and joined local club Gremio as a youth player, and after making his professional debut for them as a 16-year-old, he went to the 2005 Under-17 World Cup with Brazil, where he was named player of the tournament as his team finished second. When he returned to Gremio, he scored the crucial goal which sealed their promotion from the Second Division, and then moved to Porto, signing for them in January 2006. In Portugal, the 17-year-old Anderson continued to impress, where he wore the famous number 10 jersey and ran the show with a deadly mix of technical ability, pace and strength. Anderson spent 2 seasons at Porto and won 2 league titles and 2 cups, and despite suffering a horrific leg break in his second season, which halted his progress and damaged his pace, United scouts had seen enough to label him as a bigger talent than Wayne Rooney, and convinced Alex Ferguson to sign Anderson for £26 million, beating off competition from Barcelona and Chelsea to sign a player that some were calling the next Ronaldinho. Those comparisons stemmed from both of them starting their careers at Gremio, but were amplified by both of them possessing excellent technical ability and flair, and playing high up the pitch as a number 10 or wide forward. But at United, those comparisons were quickly extinguished, as Sir Alex Ferguson looked to utilise him in a deeper box-to-box midfield role. This was due to his loss of explosiveness and the age of Paul Scholes, who would eventually need to be replaced. In his first season at the club, he featured prominently as United won the Premier League title and Champions League final via a penalty shootout which Anderson scored in. And on an individual level, Anderson won the 2008 FIFA Golden Boy Award, which is given to the best under-21 player in world football. But despite these impressive achievements, he struggled to adapt to the Premier League and his new role as a holding midfielder, and managed just a single assist and no goals despite playing 38 times in all competitions. Despite spending another 7 years at Old Trafford, those 38 appearances would ultimately be the most Anderson would make in a single season at United, as injuries, poor form and off-field issues, such as weight problems and poor professionalism, would all prevent him from becoming a mainstay in the side's midfield. However, Anderson still went on to become a cult hero at the club, particularly for his performances against Arsenal, and he won 3 more Premier League titles before Sir Alex Ferguson retired in May 2013. After Ferguson's retirement, Anderson's Man United career was effectively over. David Moyes arrived at the club and reduced Anderson's game time significantly, partly due to his laid-back attitude. Under Moyes, he made just 2 league starts in the first half of the 2013 to 2014 season, before being shipped out to Fiorentina on loan in January. But that move proved to be unsuccessful as he made just 8 appearances and found himself out of the team by the end of the season. And he returned to Manchester to find a new manager in Louis van Gaal and a new squad number in 28 after Juan Mata was given his famous number 8 jersey. But he hardly needed a number at all, as he made just 1 start under Van Gaal, an embarrassing 4-0 defeat to MK Dons in the League Cup, and if his future wasn't already elsewhere, that surely sealed it. The then 26-year-old departed United under a cloud in January 2015, joining Brazilian side Internacional on a free transfer. But back in Brazil, things didn't go too well for Anderson either. His debut match saw him come off the bench and miss a penalty against Cruzeiro, and in his next game, a Copa Libertadores tie against Bolivian side The Strongest, he had to be substituted and required an oxygen mask as he became one of many players to fall victim to the over 3.5 kilometer altitude in the Bolivian city of La Paz. Unfortunately for Anderson, things didn't really improve from there in his first season, as poor performances and regular suspensions limited his game time and caused the fans to grow increasingly frustrated with him, particularly after he was substituted at half-time in a humiliating 5-0 defeat to his former club Gremio, Internacional's arch-rivals. The following season saw Anderson feature far less prominently, and despite being one of the club's highest earners, he was mainly limited to substitute appearances and sometimes left out of the squad entirely as Internacional struggled in the league. The club had always been seen as a powerhouse in Brazil and had won the Club World Cup just 10 years previously, but were facing relegation for the first time in their history. And to make matters worse, Anderson was suspended by the club after punching a teammate in training. Although he regained his place in the team before the end of the season, he could do little to prevent Internacional from their first relegation, and he was subsequently loaned to fellow Brazilian side Coritiba for the following season, where he made little impact, appearing just 12 times, as they were also relegated from the Brazilian Serie A. With another relegation under his belt, Anderson returned to Internacional, where his contract was terminated by mutual consent in January 2018. Aged just 29, Anderson remained unattached until the summer, where he agreed a deal to join Turkish Second Division side Adana Demirspor as they looked to gain promotion to the First Division for the first time since 1995. But it wasn't to be. Anderson was limited to sporadic appearances off the bench and was frequently omitted from the squad as the club missed out on promotion, losing in the playoffs. And after making just 11 appearances in his first season in Turkey, Anderson retired 4 games into the following league season, aged just 31, as he once again couldn't break into the squad. But he continued to work with the club as he took a job behind the scenes, where he was seemingly involved in helping the club to increase their international stature. Since then, Anderson has been enjoying retired life, if his Instagram account is anything to go by. And according to Transfermarkt, he was appointed as the assistant manager of the Adana Demirspor youth team in 2020, so maybe we'll see him back in a Premier League dugout someday. I mean, who knows? Stranger things have happened. So yeah, that's pretty much the story of how Anderson's career took a really sharp decline. But where do you think it went wrong for him specifically? Do you think it was one single moment that defined his career? Or do you think it was a combination of things that contributed to his downfall? As always, I'd love to hear what you have to say, and if there's any topic you'd like me to cover specifically in the next video, please let me know in the comments. This has been Red Mist, I've been Joseph, and thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.